But right now, we're happy to introduce two poets who will be sharing their poetry with us today. We will be sending their written work in both the chat and in a follow-up email after the forum. So we have Bob Gomez. Bob is a local poet, singer, songwriter, and teacher. He has lived in Watsonville since 1984 and has participated in numerous causes in support of immigrant families, foster youth, climate action, international peace, bilingual education, and parent empowerment. He is Watsonville's first poet laureate. And we also have Sonya Pendry, a recent graduate from UC Santa Cruz. Sonya loves to hike and write. She hopes to help people on the planet in her lifetime. Her writing is dedicated to fellow strong-minded women and her sweet pup Lily. Welcome both Bob and Sonya.
Thank you, Maria.
Thanks, Maria.
So I'm going to go ahead and say a little bit about my connection with the local writing community. I joined a group called Writers of Color in 2021 on an invitation from an old friend, Vivian Vargas. And through Writers of Color and the Zoom meetings that we had periodically, I got to meet this tremendous group of writers. Vicky Bañales, Adela Najarro, Stan Rushworth, who I had known before, Claudia Ramirez, many, many others. And it's just become a tremendous support to the writing community for writers of color like me. And I think we've invigorated the spoken art of poetry here in Watsonville and throughout the county. It's just been such a pleasure. And in addition, I was able to accept the honor of being Poet Laureate in Watsonville, and that has been nothing less than a joy. My work as a poet, it is in two languages. I write in both languages. Spanish is my second language. Reflecting on my own work, I think it mostly involves how we connect with each other and with the world that we live in. What are the important things? What are the values that we share that connect us to each other, and the values that cause us to take action to improve the world that we live in? I'm going to be reciting a poem called Hymn for the Ground, H-Y-M-N, Hymn for the Ground. I think you'll see the translation provided, my translation. And this is for Stan Rushworth, Hymn for the Ground. Let's take a deep breath. I place my hand down on the floor. The earth's hand made the wood. The earth's warm blood is in my hand. This earth, this place is good. The water that fills up the gutters and brooks is singing in the ground. The simple water that feeds the roots, a chanting, drumming sound. Frogs are calling across the lake, across the fields and crops. The furrows are deep, the water grows, building itself with drops. Coursing through thickets dark and deep, the water and ground are one. Unseen, unheard, beyond us all, gathering, moving, gone. The sea otter noses, pokes, observes beyond the tide pool shore. He has no need of my thoughts or words. He dives, floats, eats, lives for. I am the wave that powers and goes. I am the otter free. I am the poet who dreams and knows action is legacy. I thank the gods that are in the ground, the work that is in my meal. I choose this valley to live and die, to stay, to love, to heal. Earth of this valley I do not own. Bird Valley, river and bay. You claim my heart. I claim you home, to love, to heal, to stay. Thank you.
Wonderful, Bob. Thank you so much
And-
for starting us off.
All right, and now I'm going to introduce Sonya Pendry, my friend, my fellow poet. I invited Sonya to read with me for a very clear couple of reasons. I love her poetry, and her poetry brings in scientific themes in a very authentic, a very powerful way. I think Sonya is one of these people who's soft-spoken yet forceful, and a voice that we need to listen to very carefully. Thank you, Sonya, for joining us, and take it away.
All right. Thank you for those kind words. Very thankful to have met Bob through Writers of Color Santa Cruz, the writers group that we're both a part of. It's really nice to have a community to write with and for. So shout out to all of them. And a little bit about my work. I write in both English and Spanish, and it is mostly about self-exploration and sort of figuring out where I can be helpful and play a part with all the different layers of my identity in there, both being a Latina and a scientist and an educator and so much more. So thank you so much for listening to my poem today. I'm going to go ahead and get started. All right. So this is called For Earth and Everyone Here. Earth extracted, exploited, mother lacking lovers, we must protect them as they suffer. Bystanders burden most, women worldwide hoist, care taken for granted, stare climate chaos in the eye without a just why. Flood of water and ore, infiltrated by microplastic horror, people and planet polluted. This cannot and will not continue. Find resistance within you. Por la tierra y todos aquí. As chaparral, surmounted by dug fir, we must regenerate with smoldering severity, disturbance crucial to curb encroachment. As coastal grassland, bunched on bluffs, return after burn, growth significantly stimulated by familiar lapping flame. We must do what we can. Human hands implement restoration and mitigation plans for Earth and everyone here. Campsite eyeliner, French tips dipped in dirt. I spoil soil, titillate silt, survey forest /turned ash in floral skirts. Together, all we can save. Kyle lily spathes, roads unpaved, kelp swirls, flower whirls, wings unfurled, hard and soft corals, redwood swirl, our world. Por la tierra y todos aquí. I call you to act. Return to riverbed literacy. Listen to the original steward's words. Variation only strengthens. Reflect, then bring what you have. Great egrets on the wetlands instead of regrets. Come fire, then flood. Ecosystems built by communities stand strong. Recover. Root down. Refuse to be root bound. For Earth and everyone here. Por la tierra y todos aquí. Thank you. Gracias. So just a little bit about my vision for climate justice and something that I've talked over with Bob before. We hope to see diverse leaders in STEM leading affected communities in their own healing, which is this event is a prime example of just that. following our for us and by us principle. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Bob and Sonia. Thank you for those powerful words and for, like sharing about your connection to writers of color and, for letting us heal with your words and letting us, like reflect and come back with what we learned. Yeah, I really appreciate your words. Thank you for joining us.